Wednesday evening, last day of August, the 31st, and chilling here watching some old Andy Griffith and doing some YouTubing and Facebooking here at the Eastland Motel in Lubec, Maine, or Lubec, Maine, I believe is how you say it. Rode 166 miles total. Like 163 to get over here, and then I rode into town to the grocery store. But 166 wet miles. Thankfully, when I got up this morning, there at Katahdin Woods and Water, um, I think it had drizzled a little bit, this morning, but not much. I was able to break camp, before it got really wet or anything, and we rolled off probably about 6:40, I guess it was. First, I went down to the river and took some pictures and washed my face in the river like I like doing. And but again, then we rode off, and it turns out I knew we was back in there a ways, but we were like 7 miles back in there on that gravel, and we had went further actually, and then came back and then camped on the way back last night. So definitely went a few miles beyond. But I was going to say, as far as the gravel, something I've been meaning to mention. I've been doing of course, this whole trip, been doing a lot of gravel and dirt and all that, and then in the UP and then since I've been in Maine, there's been a whole lot of it. But that said, I was feeling pretty good and pretty confident on that stuff, and maybe that's not a good thing because. After I dumped Zeke there in North Dakota and got stuck under him there, got my leg, wedged, and I couldn't get out and had to make that phone call. I have I've been a lot more tentative again on gravel. I started out that way on the trip, pretty unsure on that stuff, but I got to a point, like I said, I got pretty confident on it and was feeling pretty good. But then since like I said, since I got stuck, I've it's definitely kind of put the fear in me to where I'm a lot more tentative on it again, and it's maybe a good thing, to a point, But so anyhow, so yeah, like I said, it was like 7 miles right out of there this morning, and then stopped at a gas station right away, right there in Sherman, Maine, and got a cup of coffee and hung out for a bit, and I met a gentleman from. I'm seeing this. Sorry, guys. The lighting I know is horrible. I'm sure I could turn another light on, but we'll just go with it. All right. But the met a guy named John from Massachusetts who was up there house hunting with his wife, and but John was a very interesting character. Which again, I've met a lot of them. But he's in his 70s, but he used to race bikes, and sounded like he was real hardcore back in his racing days, and he was telling me about the whole knee and elbow to the ground and all that stuff. And he wasn't, I could tell he wasn't just some just BSer. He was seemed pretty legit. And but he was a neat guy, and he even we talked a lot. We talked there for quite a while, and he gave me a pointer, gave me a tip on riding, which I'm yet to try out. I'm not going to say much about it until maybe I try it and figure it out. But this is actually a buddy of mine from one of my customers, Gordy, on my job. He had told me about doing this technique riding, and I thought he was crazy. But listening to John today, again, him talking it up, I'm going to have to try it. And I guess I've said all that. Now, I've got to say it. It's counter steering, to where you push the your grip direction you want to go. So you're pushing the front tire the opposite direction that you want to go, but it's supposed to turn you in that direction. And like I said, counter steering. And Gordy had told me about it before I left for this trip, and I just didn't think it could be done. But then talking to John about it today and hearing it again, I think old Gordy, he was on to something. So I'm going to have to very carefully try it. Not when I've got that big old load on it, of course, but it's something I'm anticipating trying. It sounds amazing, and maybe some of you all know exactly what it is, and maybe that's how you ride. But I thought it was all about leaning, but evidently it's not. but anything to make you better, more proficient rider, So that, and I just thought I look like I'm somebody like in witness protection doing a video, don't I? That's all right. So let's see what else. Um, so as I said, long. I mean, it was that 163 miles to get here were long miles, man. It just pouring the rain, pouring down, torrential, buckets at times. Hey, look at that! All of a sudden, the light comes in, but to where I had to stop a couple times and stopped and ate lunch by this lake underneath this shelter on a picnic table while Zeke sat out there in the rain. And anyhow, yeah, thankfully made it over here the early afternoon. It was just before 1 o'clock, and got checked in and got my room, and just been hanging out, ever since. After, well, again, I went to the grocery store right away. But it's been a nice laid back, dry day. Took a hot shower right away, and it was like the best feeling shower ever. Um, so yeah, that. Oh, some milestones. Yesterday was 16 weeks on the road, and today I feel like this is one I've been anticipating, and I think it's crazy cool. I mean, I really do. I'm so thankful and so blessed that I can say this. But as of today, late morning, we've ridden 20,000 miles since we left home. So now Zeke's got like 22 plus thousand miles on him. But I mean, it's a lot of miles, but that just represents so much fun and so much scenery and so many people. And again, I just don't have words. I'm so blessed and thankful. So anyhow, moving on. Talked to my mom this afternoon. Had a good talk with her. Trying to think if there was a person I left out. Oh, there was a guy I left out from yesterday. And how can I forget him? His name was Kevin. When I went to McDonald's in Millinocket yesterday morning, this guy comes in, and he was just like Norm from on Cheers. Instead of Norm, it's everybody's like, Kevin, hey, Kevin. And that dude knew and spoke to everybody. And what was neat, too, there was this group of widow women, a bunch of old women, all sitting at some tables together. And I'm going to say there was probably like 10 or 11 of them. And he, spoke real friendly to them, and they all spoke to him. And then he came and sat down next to with an older couple there close to me, and was talking to them for a while. And then after I left there and ended up going to the Katahdin General Store, he was there. So I crossed him again, but this time I spoke to him and told him about being over there at McDonald's and, what I experienced, just seeing him, meeting and greeting everybody. And yeah, Kevin turned out to be quite a character. He's a propane driver, is what he does for a living. And yeah, he was talking about giving them all them old widows a thrill or something like that. And they did seem to like him, that's for sure. So anyhow, but Kevin was a cool guy. And again, that's where I ended up meeting Bob Duvall and his dogs. And then also a guy I didn't mention, there was a guy there from Maryland in his Lexus, like little like hatchback type deal that was up there camping and stuff. And he rides we didn't exchange names, but anyhow, enjoyed talking to him, and he rides didn't have it with him, but he rides a Kawasaki KLR 650, which again is a legendary bike. I've talked about him before. So anyhow, it's good to meet you too, dude, and talk to you, man. And so let's see. I think I might have everybody and everything covered here. Lubec. Some of you all would know, some don't. This is the easternmost point in the United States. This is the first place in the country to see the sunrise. I don't know if it's going to be rising in the morning or as far as seeing it because of the the rain today. It might be cloudy again tomorrow. I haven't checked the forecast, but nor do I plan to be up for it regardless. I got up fairly early again this morning. I think it was 5 something, or Yeah, it would have had to been because again, like I said, we were riding by about 6:40. So anyhow, I'm gonna shut it down before I get shut down. Um, yeah, thanks you all for watching, and God bless y'all, and good night.